Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 7 of contemporary software development. I know, right? We're getting on towards the end of it. And things are starting to get, I hope, more interesting for you. And, thanks for submitting your project threes. Before class, I had an opportunity to quick review them, provide some people with some feedback on things. I hope that in some respects, things are going a little faster, getting a little easier, maybe in some ways for you, and because we're also all keep building on what it is that you've learned earlier in the course. Um, Speaking of where we are, we've only got a couple of weeks left, and looking at this, we've got a bunch of stuff coming up. We've got projects due the next couple of weeks, and then after that, you'll have 2 weeks for the Android, and then that'll be it. So exciting stuff. Here's what we're going to do tonight. I'll start off with primary interest questions. I'm really interested to hear how things are going, what's on your mind, how Project 3 went, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we're going to spend the evening exploring code refactoring. This is a new, it's new content for the course. I've talked about refactoring, here and there, and sort of mentioned it as part of test-driven development. But we've never done a real deep dive into it, and it's something that when I evolved the course from just like advanced programming with Java to contemporary software development, I really wanted to cover refactoring, but I wasn't too sure how. And so then I put together the lecture that I hope you've had an opportunity to review. And if you have any questions about it, or would just like a refresher, or maybe an overview, I'm happy to provide that before we dive in. And then to explore it, because it's really kind of hard to talk about changing code in slides, right? It's much easier to see it and to work with it. So what I thought we would do is dedicate essentially all of class to a refactoring kata called the Gilded Rose. I'm familiar with this kata. I've done it a couple times myself. I tried using it in class a couple of years ago, and it didn't really take. But that was because no one knew what refactoring was, and we didn't really dedicate a lot of time. So grand experiments in software engineering education here at Portland State University. So tonight we're gonna do that. I think it'll be cool. It's pretty fun. But first, what can I tell you? How are things going in the course? Project 3. Any lingering questions? Any observations, feedback that you'd like to share? Frustrated for all the wrong reasons. Well, okay. What are some of the reasons for the frustration, and why did it feel wrong? Oh, that non-breaking space thing. I know, what the hell, right? Oh, man, I'm so sorry about that. I think that's the kind of thing where if something doesn't feel right, then speak up, which something you did, or somebody did eventually, right? And we figured it out. Yeah, that hadn't clicked with me, and the fact that it changed between Java versions was pretty surprising. It's like, why did they do stuff like this? And then it turned out it was like some like intergalactic organization of standards that wants to format a date. It's like, well, of course, you have a non-breaking space in it. It's like, really? Yeah. So, yeah, sorry that messed so many people up. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad to hear that the tests that you'd written for your earlier projects helped out here. And that's part of the intent, and that's a big part of the lesson of having a suite of automated tests. Actually, that we're going to emphasize that a lot tonight with this refactoring kata, because you probably did some code refactoring, you're not realizing it. As okay, yeah, how do I make my code more amenable to a change, like adding a new option? Thanks for sharing that. Let's see here. Yeah, a non-breaking space, definitely annoying. Yeah, and so like what I'm gonna do next time is just like everybody's using Java 21. Probably it'll be Java 22 by the time I teach this again. But yeah, and okay. Oh right, yeah, and it was the GitHub disintegration that caught the non-breaking space first. Well, again, yeah, it was a pain, but this is why you have continuous integration. This is why it's valuable to have continuous integration in that clean room environment, Because I know I've run into this tons of times, like, oh, my local environment, everything seems to work, but then, oh, why doesn't it work on the continuous integration machine? You realize, like, oh yeah, you've done something that the CI server doesn't have, like using different versions of Java. Or I think we've also seen platform differences where it's like, oh, I develop on Windows, but the CI is on Linux. Oh, look, what's this \n\r stuff? So learning, but it's definitely frustrating also. Has anybody started on project 4 yet? Nope. That's okay, but and I know that you got lots of other stuff to balance also. But I'm looking at the schedule here, and remember we had to push everything sort of later in the term because we missed that week too. Project 4, I encourage you to try to focus on it in the next couple of days, or like maybe get it done, before the end of the day on Saturday. You're probably understanding more about how your code is structured and how to use things like dumpers and parsers and things like that. And so what people have told me in the past, that Project 4 is pretty straightforward once you understand how to use the DOM API in XML, for XML. And so then I'm encouraging you not to put this one off, even though it's pretty straightforward, because Project 5 is due the week after that. And as you'll recall, we got an introduction to Project 5 last week, and that is the client server, and it's just different. And that usually takes people a little extra longer to figure out. So sorry things got compressed here at the end of the term, but my advice is to get Project 4 working shortly, within the next couple of days, so that you can you can get started on Project 5. And actually, if I have time this weekend, I think I will. I'm going to put out a bonus screencast, which will apply some of the refactoring techniques that we learned tonight to begin evolving the out-of-the-box dictionary project for Project 5 into something that looks a lot more like your appointment book application. And hopefully that will help you get a faster start to then putting in all of the capabilities that need to be there. But let me know how it goes. Please feel free to ask questions. I'll try to get to them as quickly as I can, and you'll probably get a faster answer if you post in the class-wide channel as opposed to just Cool. Any other questions with the projects or things that are coming up in the course? Does everybody have a chance to do their reflection on pair programming? I hope. Okay, good deal. I'm really curious to hear about your experiences. This has probably been like the most structured pair programming we've had to date, and so, or I've had in the course, and so I'm really curious to hear about how things went. Okay. Anything else before we dive into code refactoring? So I'll be working off a Google Doc here, which I will share with everyone via the class Slack. Just a moment, please. Everybody should have the ability to edit. Oops. And just to be clear, because there was a couple of questions about it, and I can understand where it might be a little confusing. So tonight we'll be working as a group, but it's not mob programming, because we won't be as structured as mob programming, and you haven't learned about it, and so it won't be exactly like mob programming, but we'll all be collaborating together. We'll all be collaborating together to try to figure out this kata, because it's pretty wild. So this week's lecture was all about code refactoring, and when code is a victim of its own success, it often needs to be refactored. When code solves a problem that somebody cares about, this is a great thing, and almost always the user is like, I want more. Can you do this? Can you do that? And then the developer or the team of developers needs to figure out, okay, well, how do I fulfill those requests so they can meet my mission of providing awesome stuff into the world by giving people software they love and makes their lives easier. So what you want is software that is easy to extend, and especially easy to extend by someone who didn't write it the first time. And so then this is an age-old problem in software. And over the years, there have been these, there are, people have identified what are called code smells. These are things where, like, we've all done it. We look at a piece of code and we're like, huh? Or it's like, oh man, that seems rough, right? You kind of recoil from it because there are things about it that make it unapproachable. And these things are often, I wouldn't say cosmetic in nature, but superficial in nature. In that, the computer understands it, it compiles, and it does something, and probably does the right thing. But then when you as a human go to look at it and try to change it, it's like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Why is this on my code, right? The stuff that comes out of the box. It's like, okay, what does this unit test do? It uses this thing called a resource to get the README. How does it even work, right? We've all been there, and it happens to me every day when I look at code. Even the code that I write sometimes, it's like, who wrote this? Go look at my GitHub. It's like, oh my gosh, that was me 5 years ago. Oh, I'm so sorry, future me. Anyway, so there are these things called code smells, these patterns called code smells, and to get rid of the code smells, there are these transformations that you can do in your code called refactoring. And the whole idea is that you make a change to the code that doesn't affect the behavior of the code. It still does the same thing. It still provides the same solution. But what you do is you change the code to make it easier to work with. Sometimes it's moving the code around. A lot of times it's breaking up the code. Very often it is using names that are more fit to purpose, more clear. And so that makes the code then more approachable because you can understand it because it's going to be smaller, so there's lower cognitive load. Maybe it's better organized, and so then they're just, we all do it. There's things in our program that just fit more naturally together. Now, I want to be clear, code smells are just like a fact of life. It doesn't indicate poor quality code, and certainly doesn't indicate a poor quality developer, right? We all do it. And we all do it because, we're solving a problem with the information that we have at the time. So, it's actually good to focus on making sure that there is a good solution and then going back afterwards and looking for opportunities for improvement. And this is why test-driven development has the red-green refactor, right? It's not just enough to have a failing test making it pass. You want to make your code so that you can extend it later, or at least as you've gone through the effort of defining a test and making the test pass, taking what you've learned along the way in terms of understanding of the greater problem to be solved and the way that you express your solution, and taking that knowledge and codifying it back into code, sort of like plowing it back into the code so that it's easier to read, saves yourself, it reduces the load, the overhead of working with it in the near term, and over the long term, you end up with code bases that dozens, hundreds of people can contribute to, because there's this consistency that makes it easier to navigate. So that's what code refactoring is all about. Would you like me to go into more detail on it, though? Because am I correct in that the concepts of code refactoring are new to everybody? I mean, have you seen this in any of your other courses in any substantive fashion? No? Okay. Well, so before we start sort of digging into the details of the kata, would you like me to walk through some of the slides? Would that help? Cool. Oh, and that is tiny. Sorry. Oops, that is the wrong thing. Yeah. So yeah, I really like this quick reference guide from Industrial Logic. So feel free to thumb through this. And yeah, let me just go through some more introductory content here from the slides. So let's see here. So again, the whole idea is that we're looking to take code, make it easier to change. Make it easier to change by breaking up big things, by giving better names, and we're making the people who advocate for code refactoring are also the people that advocate for working in small batches, for taking small steps at a time, and they make it clear that refactoring isn't about rewriting code. It's not about restructuring it and making big changes. You make little changes along the way, and if you have a good suite of unit tests or of tests, you'll know whether or not you've broken something, because the whole idea of a code refactor is that refactoring code is that you change the code, well, basically on the inside to make it so that the developer, who's right there on the inside, is making you work with it more easily, and you don't change it for the user. So talk a lot about code smells and what they are. Now, code smells, the thing I like about code smells is that in some ways they're pretty obvious to someone who has done even just a little bit of programming, right? It's that sniff test. And again, it's that code that you look at and you kind of recoil because it's like, I don't know how to approach this. But just because there's something smelly doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem. It's really an indication of a conversation, because there's sometimes where it's like, oh, the code smell might be fit to purpose. Oftentimes there is an obvious solution, but if there's not, it's okay. It's okay to let a code sit there and sort of like stew for a little bit longer. Very likely, as you've worked with it some more, a refactoring will become apparent. So there are a bunch of different kinds of code smells that identify here in the lecture, and that have been identified by people in the industry, people who have write code professionally. But the common themes in smelly code is that you have names that don't make sense. Might have made sense at one point, but no longer make sense. So things like method names, where maybe where you've changed the logic of the method, or maybe it does some more things. You need to update the name of the method to have it clearly convey its intent, right? You want names to say what it is they do, not necessarily how it does it. Because you want to see how it does it, then you look at the implementation. Also, code duplication happens, right? We were just talking before class about in the appointment, where should you validate that the begin time must be before the end time? We can have an interesting design discussion about, well, should that be something that happens, outside of the appointment class, like in the main method? Should it be in the main method? Should it be when you're, sorry, should it be in the constructor of the appointment class? Should it be the main method? Should it be in your text parser when you're reading the file? And where do you validate all of this? And as you're developing your code, oftentimes it's logic like that, doing input validation, that gets duplicated in multiple places. And so then that's problematic, because if you have to change that validation, you need to know to change it in two places. And it makes it more clear that, yes, the same check always happens. So one of the refactorings to get rid of that is to take duplicate code and put it in one method, and have both places, instead of performing that logic in two places, just call the same method. Another kind of smell is when things are long, like a long list of parameters, methods that go on for pages and pages. We've all written them, but as we all know, trying to read that and trying to make sense of it, it's this load. And I know for me, it's not just because I'm getting older. It's just like trying to keep all that stuff and understand the, okay, what is the intent and what happened before? It just gets really hard, and it slows me down. I want to go fast. And it's much easier to go fast when things are small and have good names than when trying to figure out all the complex logic. So, and other kinds of smells too that you can explore more here in the lecture. But basically what refactoring is all about is to either make a change to the software, or just the general act of restructuring software to but by making these little refactorings to improve the ability to consume the code, to be for a human to be able to consume the code without changing the observable behavior. And another thing that the refactoring folks advocate for is having refactoring be its own code activity. In that it's a first-class citizen of our profession, what it means to be a professional developer, right? It's not just getting it working and it's like, okay, yep, here it works. Like, no, we need to provide something that works at one point, and get it working first. Always get it working first, and then take the time to make it so that you or someone else can work with in the future. And if you do that refactoring right after you write the code tends to stay in a well-factored state throughout its entire lifetime. So there are a whole bunch of refactorings. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because as part of the kata, we'll actually see what IntelliJ can give us. I think that's a good way to talk about it. I think it's pretty clear though by now, like why it is that we should refactor, and there's lots of good details here and stuff. But I'm okay with it through all of this stuff. Now, just like test-driven development, it's perfectly reasonable to say, hey, listen, why should I do this? It's like the code works, doesn't it? Well, the question was for test-driven development or for unit for testing was, well, how do you know it works? And can you show me that it works? That's tests give you, right? And but with refactoring is like, well, can it be fast in the future? And here again, this, there is, at least for me anyway, the reason to refactor isn't some sort of like, I want the most beautiful code, or look at me, and it's not aesthetic. It's not, it's not like artiste. It's about going fast. It's about getting stuff done. It's about being efficient and effective. And so then for me, when I go to refactor, I want to know when I can stop, when I've sort of done enough, so that I can go back to writing another failing test, making it pass, and then get to refactor again. And those tests are essential because, again, you're changing the code, but you want to make sure that the code still does what it's supposed to. And yep, the compiler will tell you if you've, renamed a method in 4 places but forgot the 5th. But once, you can do all these renamings, but it's really the tests that tell you that your code still behaves the way you want. So I think I'm going to finish here because really the second 2/3 of these slides are all about talking about specific code smells and responses to them, which which for me was like when I thought of refactoring this way, I'm like, oh, now I know how to teach it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to look at some code. We're first of all going to explore the domain because it's kind of I think a wonky domain. But then we're going to look for code smells. We're going to look at the code and say, that looks tough. And along with that, we're going to identify refactorings that we can apply. Because boy, this code kata is really good at that kind of stuff. So before we start diving into the kata, any sort of general questions about refactoring? In some respects, it's a pretty advanced topic in that, it assumes you know how to code. And I know you all do, right? You do it every week. This is about, writing code that, will last longer than the 11 weeks of the course. But as you're experiencing, even code that you wrote, 5 weeks ago might be kind of hard to evolve. What I hope that these techniques allow you to do is, both in this course and in your other courses, recognize when you should invest a little bit more into making the code more understandable so that as you continue to work with it, you can do so quickly. Okay, Guilded Rose. So, as I was saying before, I put together the slides and I recorded the screencast and everything. And actually, when I was putting together the slides, I'm like, how do I show these refactorings? And I was reading Martin Fowler's book as a guide it's one of the primary sources for the slides. And while it's a great book and everything, I think my criticism of it is that it kind of reads like the phone book sometimes, where it's just like these recipes and like, okay, this refactoring and get these code examples in JavaScript and everything. Which, okay, is good, but it's like, if I just sat there and lectured for that, first of all, the lecture would be like 8 hours long. It would kind of dull. And it's really, I don't know, it's coming up with the right examples and showing all the code and visually depicting how to do it. It didn't seem terribly efficient. So I said, well, what if we just did it together here in class and did some show and tell and did something that was interactive? It's like, oh, kata. Well, and there's a great kata for this. It's called the Gilded Rose Code Refactoring Kata. And it wasn't originally formed by Emily Bates. She's really the one who has advocated for it. And She has a super popular GitHub repository that has this kata. And the thing I love about this, and I didn't realize this on the first viewing, but then like when I went back and looked at it again, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what happens in the real world. I have found myself in situations so many times, right? I'm given a piece of code, and it's like, oh yeah, here's the code, and the person that wrote it, yeah, that person doesn't work here anymore. And I'm like, okay, are there any tests? There's like, one unit test. I think it's broken. I would never bother to fix it. Oh, okay. So like, what's the spec? Oh yeah, here's a document that's like 3 years old that said it was supposed to do. Okay. So like, how do I interact with it? Oh, there's a command line program. It'll like output stuff. It's like, now what do I do? And so then I think it's a really compelling way to understand how to refactor. So we'll see a bunch of code. It won't make any sense. It'll be a mess. And what we'll do tonight is we'll work with it to identify how to refactor it, how to write some tests for it, so that we can get the feedback that we like. I hope it's fun. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever done it. I'm really curious about your experiences and what your feedback will be. Let's see here. The code itself lives in the Kata's repository. I created a directory called Gilded Rose. So we're not going to start coding exactly yet, but please make sure that so you can read through it, and I'll pull down the latest changes there. I really like Emily Bache's YouTube channel. She is a great technical coach. She has oh, and sorry, let me share the sound. She just has a lot of really great topics that are presented really effectively with just the right amount of commentary, right? I don't know if you watch much in the way of software videos on YouTube or other social media, but oftentimes it's very pointed, and I didn't realize they do it to get clicks. I think Emily's found a really good mix between the two. So I'm going to share. I need to share my screen with sound on. Yeah. Share screen. Share sound. What are my options? Yeah, I don't need stereo. I'm going to unpause it again, and could people who are remote or on Zoom please let me know if you can hear it?
Thousands of developers have tried the Guilded.
Did that come through on the Zoom? Yep, great. Okay, cool. So this is like a 6-minute video all about the kata. I'll full screen it, and we'll watch this, and then we'll talk more about it.
By my estimation, thousands of developers have tried the Gilded Rose refactoring kata. It's by far the most popular exercise on my GitHub pages, with over 4,000 forks. And I've got loads of translations in my repo, over 50 programming languages, most of which were contributed by other people. It's also included in the Arctic Code Vault, so it will be preserved for future generations of programmers to puzzle over why such a bad piece of code ever made it in there. Because fundamentally that's what this is, it's bad code. So why is such a strange little piece of code got so much attention? Hi, I'm Emily Bache, software developer and creator of Saman Coaching. In my channel, you can find content for technical coaches and lead developers. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and like. This is the scenario. You have just been hired by the Guilded Rose establishment, which is a small inn with a prime location, and the previous developer, Leroy, has just moved on to new adventures.
Goodbye.
The goods sold in the inn are somewhat unusual, and the business rules governing their value are a little confusing. Your job is to develop the system further to support a new kind of product, conjured items. It's all a bit magical and fantastic, and it takes a lot of inspiration from the world of Warcraft, which I've never played, but I'm told all the characters come from that game. You don't actually need to know any of that to do the exercise. Basically, it's an information system with Byzantine business rules and a half-complete spec. Exactly what you're probably used to. So the code is not all that long, but just check out that indentation. We have a serious bumpy road going down there. The logic is, to say the least, tangled. And at first glance, it looks pretty difficult to change anything without breaking the code. Many developers have that experience daily with their production code. But the thing with this exercise is it's not real. So you can try stuff out and discover what works and what doesn't work in an arena where it doesn't matter if it all goes horribly wrong. Once you get the hang of a few refactoring techniques, you can actually clean up the code pretty quickly. So you go from, oh, this code is terrible, I can't change anything, to, no problem, I can fix this. Quite a short amount of time from one to the other, and that's why it's so fun. I didn't invent this exercise. It was originally presented by Terry Hughes in 2011 as a challenge to his colleagues. And I heard about it when Bobby Johnson wrote a blog post and put the starting code up on GitHub. I was intrigued. The code looked bad, and I like a challenge. The thing is, the original code was in C#, which at the time wasn't a language I'd done much work in. So I wanted to do it in Java or Python, my preferred languages at the time. And I didn't find it all that difficult to translate most of it. But the starting point was a little awkward to get a unit and test in place for, so I modified it a bit. And I think I simplified it and made it a bit easier to get going with the refactoring. As you know, I'm a big fan of approval testing, so I also took the time to add a suite of tests in my preferred approval testing tool, text test. And when I played with the exercise a bit myself, I thought it might be good to use this in a coding dojo, and I was doing one at the time, so I thought, well, okay, I need to set this up in CyberDojo, which is the tool we were using. It's still up and very useful. You should check it out. John Jaggett invented it. There's a link in the show notes. Anyway, to get it set up in there, I needed it to have a unit test and not text test. So I created just this single failing unit test and added it to the starting position. Having that test there, failing, it's like an open invitation to any slightly OCD programming nerd to come in, oh, I've got to fix that. And then you get drawn in. And I think that's part of the reason for the popularity of it. I really recommend having a go at this exercise. You can pick pretty much any programming language that you like, even UML or XSLT. Yeah, really. It turns out you can write really bad procedural style code in any programming language. And I'm constantly surprised by the pull requests that I get with translations. In fact, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of the contributors. So many fun and interesting programming languages. And if your favorite is not in there already, you could fix that. Send me a pull request. Before you do any refactoring, make sure you have some good tests. Either begin with the failing unit test that draws you in and write your own suite of unit tests, or you could try and work out how to use the approval tests that are there with text test. Then you can open the code in your best refactoring IDE, get stuck in. Happy coding! By my estimation, thousands of developers have tried the Guilded Rose Refactoring Kata.
So that was that's an introduction to the kata. What did you observe about what she was saying? So what are some of the things that you picked up on and maybe piqued your interest about the exercise? Oh, start with a test that doesn't work. Yep. Yes, and it was funny because like even comes with a test that fails. I'm like really, and as she said, I mean, it must be like green tests. Like that is the little itch that you start scratching. Oh, yeah, that's a great observation, right? I mean, she said, look at that indentation. We've all written code with like lots of indentation, and sort of like remember we were talking about code smells. Like you sort of have that visceral reaction to them. They're usually pretty easy to sniff out. So yeah, just sort of like looking at the code. You have a big long method, easy to see. You have one with like lots of indentation where you can. And remember what causes that indentation, right? That's if statements. That's case statements. When you have sort of lots of code inside other code, it gets indented. So yeah, that's a good indication of like, well, maybe this is something to explore. Again, it's not necessarily bad. You don't have to go change it, but like that's where you start looking for these things, because that's where when you do start looking and it starts feeling difficult, like it's hard to claw through it. Yep, that's a good sign. Nice. Hope that came through for the people remotely. If not, yeah, you can watch it on your own, or you can just follow along with everything else. Any observations about the video? No, she's not my sister. They're just like middle-aged white look-alike. So anyway, okay. So please go get the latest code katas, because now it's time to start exploring them. So, as she said in the video, there are these business rules for the Guilded Rose Kata, which are pretty. I think I would say Byzantine. What you say, Byzantine? I don't know, whatever. And here it is. And again, reading through this, it's like, oh yeah, I've seen specs like this in the real world. It's kind of crazy. So I'm not. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to read all that stuff to you. Let's take sort of 5 minutes, or 5 minutes on the clock. Let's all read this quietly, by ourselves. Here again, it's in the Gilded Rose requirements.txt file, either in your project, or you can just link to it here. You won't be writing code tonight. At least you don't have to write code. You can if you want, I guess. But I'll be doing most of the coding. But I would like you to be playing along in terms of having the code there in the kata. Yeah, let's just take 5 minutes and try to understand that. And then what we'll do is, to explore that understanding, we'll brainstorm some given when then scenarios, just like we did in we're probably week 3 of class, to try to figure out, hey, how about we write some tests for this? Or like, what are the, what is the behavior that we expect for this? So yeah, let's put 5 minutes here, 4 o'clock, and then we will resume. Now let's pause the video. I'm gonna go watch it. Okay, so these requirements are kind of wacky. There is an item class. Oops, there we go. So here in the Guilded Rose directory, Guilded Rose project, here is the text file right there. There is also an item class. So this is the class that you can't touch. And you're probably smelling some some smelly code right here just by looking at this. Got like public fields and things like that, but you can't touch this code. Okay. And just a sneak peek, here is the Guilded Rose code. Yeah, there's all that indentation. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, this is some awful stuff. This is what we can change, luckily, along with anything else. So this is all good. So now, though, before we dive into this, and I know like it's it's hard for me to resist the urge to start changing code, but we really want to understand this problem first, because we don't have the test coverage that we would like. So now let's take like 10. Oh, I guess there's one more thing I want to show. Okay, there is this. Oh yeah, it's just probably not the best link to that. Let me get a better link to what I want. So she mentioned these things called text tests or something like that. And it's a framework that I guess she's a big fan of. That's kind of neat. And basically, what it does is, for something like a command line program, you can you can specify basically, the expected output of a command line program. It's a lot like the invoke main, the integration tests that we wrote for our command line programs. And so then, basically she's like, hey, when you invoke the main of Gilded Rose, so I'm pretty sure it's a Gilded Rose class. Where has the main? Nope, where is the main? Main, I guess, would be in test text fixture. Oh yeah, this main method right here. So yeah, even crazier code. Because let's take a look at the sorry. Okay, let's take a look at the unit test here. This is all you get for a unit test, right? One unit test called foo is disabled because it doesn't work, right? If we don't disable it and we try to run it, it goes and it fails because the expected fix me was foo. So this is just, again, an example to get started with. But it's like, this is all you get for unit tests. So you create the Gilded Rose establishment. You call with the item, so it's got one item foo with a, what is that? That is the cell in date of 0 and quality of 0. And then you call update quality to basically then have it age a day. And by the way, I don't play World of Warcraft either, so if I get any terminology wrong, sorry. But anyway, so this test is bogus. This test doesn't work. But oh look, you also have like this wonderful main method that prints out a whole bunch of stuff, which is neat, but it's not a very good test. That's why she has the text test stuff. I created an integration test using the invoke main stuff, invoke main class, that will basically invoke that main method with an argument of 30, just like the text tests do. And then it goes and loads the 30 days of standard output resource, which I'll just navigate to over here and put this thing in the, let's see, where was that in? That was a test. That's resources. Yeah, this is the thing we want with that here. So yeah, let's look at it. And, oopsie, what just happened? Okay. Let's go back and fix this link. Nice. It's the same file, but it's in the place it's used by a task. So this will tell you, it'll take those items that are in the text fixture text. So all these right here. So this +5 dexterity vest and the sulphurous hand of Ragnaros, and backstage passages and stuff. And then, oh yeah, and by the way, this thing doesn't work correctly yet, okay, because it's conjured and we haven't implemented conjured yet. But it goes through and creates a new Guilded Rose establishment, and then if you put it, it takes the command line argument and goes through days 0 through, I guess, that number +1, or is it 0 to that number, and then prints out, yep, here's what day we're in, and for each of the items, here's its name, cell, and quality, and so you can see, and then it updates the quality, so basically every day it watches things age. And so then what you get is this stuff here. So here we are on day 0, everybody starts with their stuff, and then you can see day over day, oh look, the +5 dexterity vest goes down to a cell-in by 9, and then 19, and I guess eventually it goes down to 0, and you can see what happens. Oh yeah, right here on day 10, where on day 9 it was cell-in of 1 and quality of 11, and then, okay, it goes down to 0, and then, oh yeah, now it continues to go down by 2. Anyway, this is like, okay, it shows like all the business, that some of the business logic is implemented, which is nice, and so then we can use this as a form of a test for like all these specific test cases as we refactor. But I think it would also be valuable for us to write some targeted unit tests so that we can understand in the small how things are supposed to behave. And that's what we're going to do next as a class. So let's break up into pairs. I'll create some breakout rooms in the Zoom. And let's just get together and brainstorm some scenarios here based on the text file with all these crazy requirements. and then also the text file with like the current output. And by the way, it's completely valid, right? It's like this is the behavior that we want to retain. We believe this behavior to be what's implemented. I guess the conjured one isn't implemented correctly, but but all the other stuff apparently is. So anyway, so let's take some time and explore some scenarios. Cool. So those folks here in the room, I guess we have a pair of 2 and pair of 3, or I guess maybe if someone wants to pair with me, maybe we can do that too. And then let me create some breakout rooms in the Zoom. But first, I'll pause recording because no one needs to see. Oh, sorry, I have the wrong audio here. So, okay. Okay, cool. That was 10 minutes of exploring this problem. What did you think? We were able to brainstorm a whole bunch of tests. Any, I don't know, observations, takeaways that anybody would like to share for the class? Yeah, yes, yeah. Yes, and it's a really good observation where the logic, business logic of the Gilded Rose is complex, perfectly complex. But that's also that's very real world, right? No matter what domain you're in, but especially anything where it's like, oh my gosh, like I've talked to people that have worked on insurance applications and like all the different branches and all the logic and everything like that. So I was like, okay, that's real world, and I think that's why it's like super valuable that like brainstorm tests first. It helps you explore the scenarios and understand, or at least definitely get a general appreciation for the complexity, then also explore some specific use cases. Any other observations that people have? Okay. Now let's write some of these tests. Yeah, there's a couple of them, but I just kind of want to explore things here. And so then, is there a particular one that sort of makes sense to start with? Ooh, like yeah, what's a good example of one that's not an exception? Here, yeah, let me. An item with selling and then reference to selling. Yeah, how do I make this a number cell? I could do. Okay, well, anyway, yep. Sorry, I was trying to be clever. Oh no, stop. Cool. Here we go. Cool. Yeah, let's start with the first one here. Okay, so it has a selling of 10 and a quality of 20, and when we invoke update quality, it should go to 19 and 9. Okay, that's cool. Let's see if we can do this here. So we're just going to take our Gilded Rose test here. I guess first of all we can get this one to pass. So I think this one's pretty, this is pretty easy. You change. So it asks for. I'm going to do something. I'm going to use the ham crust ones. Equal to. Let's go make sure that it fails. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to start using a lot more keyboard shortcuts. And as you probably noticed, when I type something on the keyboard, there's a little pop-up there in green down at the bottom that shows you like what I did and the keyboard shortcut. So let's see here. So then, yeah, the name of that item, it says fix me, but it should really be foo. So if I change that to foo. Nice. Okay, good. So here I got a red green. Any opportunities to refactor? No, I haven't really gotten there yet, but let's see one. I see some duplicate code in this string foo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable called item name. Where's this name? Call it foo, and then replace the usage of foo with that variable name. But this is refactoring, right? So what we're doing, it's like, like duplicate code, and even, the thing I like about this is that it makes it more clear what foo is. So to me, this is a little bit more visible. Cool. I'll run my test again. Nice. It's all good. Okay. So now let's write that that other one. Okay, so this is just like I guess a regular item. Decreases in quality by 1 at the end of the day. Void regular item decreases in quality by 1. Again, super long name, but you know exactly what it's testing, right? I mean, that's the whole idea of it. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to create, first of all, an array of items. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to copy all this. Actually, we're going to copy this here. And now, let's see here. Does the name of the item matter? Okay, so test item, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna create a new item with the name, and let's see, the sell-in is gonna start with 10, quality is gonna start with 20. And then we're gonna create a new Gilded Rose, we're gonna up the quality, and we're gonna assert that the, this is really hard for me to understand. Sell-in is the first one, so sell-in is going to be decreased by 1. So we're gonna, actually I'm gonna assert that the sell-in value is equal to 9, and that the quality goes down to 19. Right? Is that what I think that's what this test has said? Starting from 10 and 20. At the end of the day, it goes to 9 and 19. Okay, let's run that. Oh, good, it passed. Now, this is not tested in development. Actually, one of the questions that when I was a really good observation that came up in the breakout room was, hey, you know, the code already works, so what are we writing tests for? Well, we're writing tests to validate our understanding of the code, then also to give us a suite of tests so that we can detect, you know, as we're refactoring, as we're changing the code under test, that we can verify that it works as expected. Okay, I see some additional. Some additional opportunities for refactoring. What do other people see? Anything else? See, like looking at this test, or anything that seems a little smelly about this code? It's like one thing that I see is like I don't really need this variable anymore because like this test doesn't. This variable is only used once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a refactoring called inlining, where I'm going to take this the value of this variable and just use it instead of the variable. And I don't need this anymore, so I can just get rid of it. I don't think this hurts the readability of the code. As a matter of fact, it just, you know, it makes it, I think it makes it a little bit more readable. There's just, you know, fewer lines. The other thing that I see is some duplicate code right here. So I'm just going to create a new variable called item, which is this value right here. And I'm going to okay. Gonna run it again, see what happens. Good, everything's still working. Okay. You know, I'm looking at like creating the Gilded Rose and having this array of items, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of like some duplicate code right here. I'm not quite ready to refactor that yet, though. So I want to see what else I do. But anyway, right? This is kind of, you know, I wrote the test and made it pass, and I'm just gonna play with it to make it I think easier to read. Yeah, cool. Okay. What's another? Let's see here. So like, what's another good example of like maybe a more normal, or let's say less complex scenario to implement? So the age breed? Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. So it's like the selling days is 2, quality of 0, and at the end of the day, they both go to 1 because within 2 days. I like that. Okay, great. Okay, that's going to be kind of like this one again. So I'm going to, oh, actually, I have to come up with a name for it. So let's see here. Age debris increases in quality, when less than 2 days left. 2 days before selling. Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to do this. And let's see here. What was my scenario? It started out with 2 and 0. So this was age debris. Age debris, and it was sell in 2 days with quality of 0. Thank you. The Welsh spelling. And it goes to 1 and 1. Okay, that was our scenario. Nice. Okay. Cool. Good. Starting to feel good here. Oh, I like this one. Sell in 2, quality of 50. Oh, and this was because it can have a max quality of 50. Is that what that was? Nice. Yeah, yeah. Good, good, good. Okay. So age debris. Age debris has a maximum quality of 50. And let's do this again. Age 3, and what was 2 and 50? Yeah, 2 and 50. And then now it's being 1 and 2. Yes. So now what we're doing here is it's like we've got this code. Let's take another look at our goal here is to try to make some sense out of like this whole mess of everything, right? And I have to admit, the analogy going through my head is sort of like a military analogy, where it's like, okay, we're surrounding it with unit tests, right? We're trying to contain this code and sort of like make sure that we can attack it on all these fronts, and so then we're gonna go in and fix it and make it so much better. But we'll have all this verification on the outside because oh my gosh, I didn't even look at that. It's just so ugly. Okay, cool. Well, excellent. Okay, this is good. And why don't we just stop there, or how about we do the following? So I got a nice little break while you all were working. How about we take 10 minutes? You all rest. I'll implement some more. I think you all know how this goes. Right? I'll implement some more tests, and then we'll come back and we'll look at that code, and we'll start sniffing out some smells and suggesting some refactoring. But you all take a break for 10 minutes. I'll see you back here at 6:55. Okay, I wrote some more tests, and you know what? I got to admit, these are great test cases. Everybody, you're all hired to write my test cases for me because you understood that like in way better detail than I would. I'll chalk it up to the power of working with others. So I still have a couple more to implement, and maybe I'll do that while you are all working on this next section here. But I'm building up a nice set of I'll run them all. A nice suite of tests Oh, including like there was an example for conjured items, and so that doesn't work yet. Oops, there we go. It's disabled. Yeah, it's right here. So yep, I implemented it, but it doesn't work yet. In this case, we know it. We'll leave it disabled for now, and then we go to implement conjured items after we do our refactoring. Right, the whole idea is that we'll get our code like more malleable in a more workable state, and then we'll add some new capabilities. But next, let's all, or actually you all, will take a look at the Gilded Rose code itself. Oh my goodness! And so then, this is the code that we have to work with. And what I'd like you all to do now, let's, I don't know how long it's going to take. I think 7 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not sure. Oh, and let me just make a link then maybe to that code so it's easier to find. Guilded Rose Java. It would be this one. Yep. This is the code that we can change. We cannot change item. So yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's do it separate because I like such things. So let's look at the code that's here, and break up into, well, you can do your same groups or rearrange yourself. Doesn't really matter. And then talk about like what smell do you smell, and please feel free to reference the handout. Oops, this cheat sheet. I don't think it's cheating. It's a good reference for like the types of smells and things like that. Also in the lecture notes. I'm not really as compact as that though. And then identify where you smell it. I don't know, line numbers or just a description of it. And then potential refactorings that we could apply. And again, consult the handout or the cheat sheet or the lecture to figure out what refactorings might work well there. I'll just put 10 minutes on the clock, and we'll see where we go. So I'm sorry, I'll create the breakout rooms again. Pause the recording. Wow, you all came up with a lot more code smells and refactorings than I thought. This is great stuff. Tell me about it. So like, okay, what we go through the list and everything like that. We'll do that later, but sort of like let's up level a little bit. Like, what was the experience like? What were some of the things that maybe surprised you, or that you're going to take away from really looking at an ugly piece of code for and finding all of its smells? Right. Okay, well that's okay though, right? Now you could tell that you could figure out what was smelly, right? I think we all have a good instinct for these kinds of things. Like that those same words repeat all over there, or like just the indentation, right? But then yeah, having like formal names of them, it's probably fine that you don't. I think when you have like if you recognize the pattern, sometimes can make it's just a vocabulary, like I said, vocabulary, right? It's a language that you can say. It's like, oh yeah, right. This is the I don't know very well myself. Or it's like duplicate code or the like like magic numbers or primitives obsession, right? Yeah. When I saw that one at first, I'm like, what does that mean? It's again, I have to go look it up. But yeah, great. Okay. What other observations about just the process of looking at code that was interesting, that's noteworthy? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, way too many logic comparisons. Yeah, say more. Right. Oh yeah, fair. Oh, yeah. Yeah, duplicate code, right? And and this is the kind of thing that like happens when you have complex logic, right? Oh yeah, you make the same, you make the same code, and at first it makes sense to do that because you're just trying to get fast, and then you get to pass. But then yeah, you can take a step back and say, oh wow, look, this can definitely improved. Sweet. Okay then. Other observations anybody want to share? Anybody remotely? Put something in chat or come off mute? Okay, so then, this is an awesome list, and I can't wait to start going through this, implementing some of these. But first, I want to talk about some tools that IntelliJ provides. So, you know, we saw when I was writing those unit tests, we saw how I did a couple of refactorings, like adding, introducing this variable of name that was then reused in both places, and then I inlined it in the second one when I copied this code and put it into the other one. You know, I did that very manually, but a really great feature of IDEs of these modern coding tools is that they have refactoring tools built in. So, you know, for instance, if I want to, you know, create a variable here for this test item, I just say refactor, introduce variable. It creates a new variable, and I can just call it name, like that. Similarly, if I want to, you know, inline this variable, just select this, select the name of the variable, say refactor, and inline variable, and it puts it in there. So, you know, this saves a step. And imagine something like renaming a method, right? A method that can be called, you know, hundreds of times across your program. Let the tool take care of that. It'll find it, you know, it'll do it so much quicker than you ever could, and with a lot fewer errors. So before we dive into it, and I want to use these, you know, these tools here tonight as we refactor this code, as we clean it up. So I just wanted to, you know, I made my own cheat sheet here that talks about some of the things that a refactor menu in IntelliJ can do. So actually, there's a refactor this tool, which basically pops up a menu, which gives you all sorts of refactorings for the current context, wherever the cursor is. And so you can do things like, well, actually, here's a really good example. Actually, let's do that for, how do I want to do this? Nah, I'll just walk through the list and then we'll see them. We'll see them in action here. So you can do things like, you know, rename a variable, a method, really, you know, anything that, you know, any identifier, you can rename it, rename classes. A change signature will take a method and change, well, its signature, and so you can rename it from there. You can add parameters, you can change the names of parameters, and it'll, you know, update all the usages of those parameters and usages of the methods. We just saw extract variable. You can also extract a constant. Let me just walk through that one. So let's say, you know, we have aged debris here a couple of times. So here, instead of extracting a variable, which would be local to the method, we can say, oops, we can say refactor, introduce constant. And this will make now a, well, you know, a constant here in the class called aged debris. Even gives it a nice default name, which probably makes sense. And, oh, interesting, it did not replace this other occurrence of it. Huh, I thought it would, but now I've got it here. And I can use that. I think there's only two places it occurs. Let's see here. Same thing, you know, similarly for extract field, you might have, you know, a value that you want to put into make a field for the class. As you're, and there are also ways of extracting parameters. Extracting method would be a good example here. So here, like I said, we've got like this tons of duplicate code, right? Because we're, you know, creating a new item, we are creating a new Gilded Rose, and we're updating the quality. And I see that all over the place. So I'm gonna, and I don't want that. I'm going to instead do the following. I'm going to say, I'm going to take this item and I'm going to make a variable for it. Because what I want to do is I want to refactor this code, now most of this code here, into a method that will add an item to a new Gilded Rose and update the quality, right? Because I mean, I do that here, I do that here. I mean, I'm doing that all over the place. And so it's like, it's just duplicate code. I don't like it very much. But however, each item is different. So what I want the method to do is I want the method to take an item object. And now I could create this myself. But I think what I'd rather do is show the automatic tool for doing it. So the first thing I want to do, because I want the item to be a parameter to the method, I'm going to put this into its own variable. So I'm going to extract a variable. I'm just going to call it item right here. And now I'm going to take these 3 lines of code, and I'm going to say, make me a method for that. So I'm going to extract a method that invokes those 3 pieces of code. And I'm going to say, I'll say update quality. So I'll do quality here, I guess. And so as you can see here in green, that's what it's going to create. So, excuse me, I'm going to do that. And then, it says, we found another piece of code that looks a lot like that. Do you want to replace that? Yes, please. Oh, you want to do it again? Yes, yes, yes. So I'll just say do all of them. And look at that. Here now I'm passing in, I just collapsed all those lines of code into a method call, right? This is duplicate code. I'm in my test. I haven't even gotten to Gilded Rose yet, right? But look, I mean, and see how easy it is to use these tools. Here in my original one where I extracted it, now I'm going to inline this. Okay, let me just do it this way. I'm going to say inline variable here. So now I've got, I just give it the item and all this. So I've done these refactorings, and now I'm just going to run my tests again just to make sure everything works. It ought to. Just code changes, no logic, yay, and it does. So right, this is refactoring. You can use these tools that are there in the IDE to very easily and safely and quickly move your code around so that it's more readable. Nice, okay. I'm just gonna, I'm going to, I want to move this method up and have it be the top of the class. So let's see here, I can just do that with move statement up. Okay, I guess that's the name of it. It's not really a refactoring as much as it is just just moving code around. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm just going to check this in here. Refactored unit tests to remove duplicate code. Okay, let's add up to GitHub. Okay, so those are the kind of things you can do with IntelliJ's refactoring tools. I'm a big fan. Okay. Now, let's take some time and refactor this. Where should we start? Honestly, what are your thoughts on like what is like the, let's take a small step to begin with. Like what would be a good first small step? String literals. Oh yeah, get rid of that. That's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, like we did with the aged breed. Again, yeah, cool. Let's do that. So I'm going to use extract constant for that, and up aged degree again. And then, this is a good one. I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut. So for the Mac, it's Command Option C for constant. And I'm just going to call this backstage pass, please. And so, okay, I created it there. Now I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to use a refactor. I'm going to say rename, which is Shift F6, because I just want a smaller. I just want to say backstage pass. Oh yeah, it's better. Right? I mean, like I literally feel cleaner now, right? Because it's like the code is smaller. It's easy to read. I'm not worried about these magic constants. If I mistype one of these, everything is, all hope is lost. Okay, another constant. And I guess I can just say sulfurous. And then, interesting, it didn't find all the occurrences of it. I wonder if I'm doing something wrong there. Backstage pass. And then this is, that's kind of a bummer. It doesn't find Or so that's okay. That's all right. You know, it's sort of like going through the code and make it smaller. And and you know, I'm going past lots of other opportunities for refactoring. That's okay. We're taking small steps here. Okay, cool. I think that is all of them. And now I've got these static things up here. Sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to run my tests again. I'm going to rerun Guilded Rose. Everything's still working. Oh, you know what else I want to do? I want to replace, I extracted that age debris constant up here. Now I want to use those constants in my test. So, okay, watch this. I'm going to, instead of having the same this string duplicated twice, I'm just going to say Gilded Rose dot age debris. And now I've kind of got this duplicate thing here, so I'm going to inline this. All right, I'm going to say refactor inline. So I'm going to replace the field here in the test with the one from the Guilded Rose. And it's going to ask me, do I want to inline all the usages of it and remove the field, or do I want to keep the field? I want to remove the field. I don't need it in this case. And so I'm just going to say refactor. And poof, let's go find age debris. Great, now it's the one from Guilded Rose. But you know, and I don't think I need this fully qualified name. So I'm just going to use this to say add set import. So nice. Really good. Okay. And let's see here. I'm sure I probably also got sulfuric. Oh yeah, here's a backstage pass. So I can use that backstage pass. Oh good, it even knows how to import it. That's nice of it. And here's another backstage pass. Let's clean stuff up. And you know, and this is kind of the interesting thing, right? I'm not changing any functionality. I'm just making the code easier to read. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna run my test again. Nice. Well, the other test that I'm going to run is that integration test that I wrote that invokes the main method. This texture IT. I'm going to run this. Oops, I'm going to debug it. Oh, whatever. No harm. Hey, that all works. Okay, great. So let's see here. Those were all the constants. I like that. Okay. Nice. Okay, I think we're ready to commit it. So let's see here. Extract constants for well-known names of items. What is the next refactoring that that we should do? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's take a look at that. There it goes. And oh my gosh, it's so much easier to read now, isn't it? Just everything seems, yeah. Oh yeah, right. So here we have like backstage pass and backstage pass. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of duplicate code here. It's like, what I'm trying to figure out, like, do we want to extract like maybe the items I first? Maybe even like name into a variable? Like the whole. Oh, yeah. Okay. So understand themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so for then, well, yeah. Let's give it a try. Okay, so for like each one of these, like when we compare the name, yeah, for all that stuff. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I want to try something first though. I want to oops. I want to do a couple of other refactorings. This is like an itch I want to scratch here. I want to extract a variable for items I, because man, I see that all over the place, right? So let's introduce a variable Just going to call all 34 occurrences. Yes, sure. Let's call it item. Okay. And then, oh my goodness, it's changed so much. I think I want to run my tests again. I know it's like a really simple thing, but like, actually, yeah, let's just run the text. I'm going to pin both of these so they don't go away. And this one too, and this. And that, okay, good. Now I think everybody still works. Good. Okay, so then, yeah, let's extract that. I think I can. I want to do this because that was such an impactful step. I want to do this one first and check it in. Maybe we'll push it though. Yes, because yeah, I think but boy, I've made enough changes where it's like I don't want to mess something up. Extract. Yeah, it's even hard to name that one. So as well, because yeah, I might revert it, so why push it up? But then you had a place where you wanted to extract something else. Yeah. Yeah, item name. Yeah, I like that. And I'll just use variable again. 8 of them. Yeah, right. Name. Yeah. Look at that. And now I can like combine lines to make them easier to read. Okay. Nice. Okay, yeah, let's run the tests. See where we're going. Nice. Okay. Yeah. It's a variable. Okay. Oops. Now, when I went to commit, it was complaining that, hey, you've got some warnings. So let's see what these warnings are. For loop can be replaced with enhanced for. Oh, okay. That seems nice. Let's do that. Thank you, IntelliJ. It's a refactoring of sorts. Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's nice. Oh yeah, and then this one, where it's like, I think someone mentioned this. Yeah, item quality, my item quality can replace with 0. So yes, please do that. See, I mean, IntelliJ. So these aren't refactoring so much as it's IntelliJ's warning you about things. Like, hey, you can use a better language feature, or hey, you're doing something dumb. You're subtracting a value from itself. Nice. Okay, we'll run our tests again. You see how valuable the tests are, though, right? I mean, we're making changes. They seem pretty safe, but like now we know that they're safe because we have tests. Okay. Well, okay. Well, I think we fixed some low-hanging fruit. So what now? Ooh, a switch statement. Well, I mean, there's lots of ifs. Yeah, I know that. Like, whenever I see a bunch of ifs, I can't help but think there's a switch, a switch statement. Oh boy, but and so what? We switch on the name or something, maybe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. So then, oh, okay. Well, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so switch on the name. Okay. Yeah. This is getting exciting here. Switch on the name. Okay. And so then we're going to have case age degree. We're going to have case backstage pass. And we're going to have case, let's say, Urus. And all of them will have default. Okay, so what are we going to do for age 3? Yeah, so here's age 3. Here's age 3. I know, right? Oh, wait a second, though. So this is not aged breed, not backstage pass, and this is this is the same thing. Not aged breed and not no, and not are these the same? I think is this logic the same? Because isn't that an and statement essentially?
Yeah.
Oh, but then it's got it's got this other else down here, so it's not exactly the same. Well, actually, you know what? Hey, let's give it a try. If we replace this with oops. What was that all about? Okay. Oh, maybe that's gonna work. That logic seems, but look, I can run my tests. Oops. Oh, okay, yeah. It did not compile correctly because. Oops. Oh, okay. First of all, I just want to get. Well, we'll keep that up there. It's harmless. Yeah, I didn't do this right here. It's like else. Yeah, I don't think that works. Because look, I mean, so let's just revert that. Oops. Revert that change. Revert that change. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, because like, oh boy, it's the logic here. What a mess.
What do you extract the defect stuff?
Okay.
Like, look at that one right there that started on 54. It's if A doesn't equal H3, okay? If A doesn't equal backstage pass. If I have a 30 to 0, then if name doesn't equal self-clearance. Item dot quality equals item dot quality minus 1. So essentially, you could extract that to default as if item dot quality greater than 0, item dot quality.
Yeah, it's documented. I like that. Yeah. So okay, well, so let's see her up here. Okay, so yeah, so by break it out, you mean sort of put it up here in our case statement that we're building? I like that. Yeah. So let's see here. In this case, that, and then we're going to want to return from here. So yeah, okay, I like this, right? So yeah, the default one, the easy one, is let's see here. No. So by default, what do? We decrement the cell in. So, sorry, decrement. Well, we decrement the quality. Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, nice. And so item dot quality minus. Oops. Right? That's the right thing. Okay, cool. And then so if you have the quality, it's greater than 0, and then we decrement. So we decrement the quality, and then we always decrement the cell in. Yeah. Well, okay. I could do that. Oh, that's a good point. But you know what? That becomes okay. Well, so here's what I want to do first. Before I kind of want to clean up, because I don't know. I'm worried about deleting something that's important. So, yeah. But in the meantime, let's run the tests to see if I broke anything. Hit that thought. Oh, I broke something. Good. Regular item is quality decreased by 2. Oh, 13. Oh, decreases by 2 after the sell-in date. Is that right? Okay, cool, awesome. Okay. So then, if the quality is greater than 0, wait, after the sell-in date.
Instead of always doing item dot selling minus.
Yep. Let me go look at the test. What is it? So if I'm at 0 and 20, so if the, oh, okay, so it still has 20 quality at 0, then it's the day after and it's 2. Okay. So then, okay, so then how about this? How about we always increment the sell-in? So let's move that, oops, what am I doing? Sorry. We'll move that up. So we always increment the sell-in. And, well, it's not so much if the quality is greater than 0, if the sell-in is greater than 0, then subtract, yeah, 1. And then otherwise, if the sell-in, well, not otherwise. Yeah. But you know what? I'm not thinking about it too hard because I got tests. So if it's less than 0, well, or less than or equal to 0? Oh, wait, this sell-in is probably never going to be possible. Oh, true. Okay. I don't know. We got tests to figure it out. And then we decrement it by 2. Oops. Quality. Minus equals 2. Okay. Cool. Okay. Kind of like that. Seems to all work. Nice. Let's attack aged brie next. So actually, I'm wondering, is it better to like look at this code here to figure out aged brie, or is it better to go back to the spec and code it that way? Yeah, I'm getting a nod for the spec. Okay. Yeah, right. I mean, okay. And here again, nothing wrong, because we still got the code here. Yeah, wacky. But we have the tests. This is why we test. We can make big changes in the code, and we'll know right, within seconds whether or not broke things. Okay, cool. Let's let's okay, back to the spec because I don't remember what the spec says. Guilded Rose requirements. So aged brie actually increases in quality the older it gets. So we have more. Okay, wait. Increases in quality the older it gets. Meaning what exactly? Let's go look at the tests. This is why I'm glad that I wrote down these tests. So okay, so then yeah, the sell-in decreases, but the okay, the sell-in decreases, but the quality increases up to 50. Okay, good. So then let's just do this in 2 parts. Then so for aged brie, so the item.sellin decreases, and the item.quality quality increases, and this should break the test that maxes out at 50.
Yeah.
Oh, but both of them. Well, but wait, I want to do this. I'm being very methodical about this because I think he very much in my head. Because it's almost 8 o'clock at night. Time for bed. Okay, this failed though. That's the maximum quality of 50. So aged brie increases in quality when less than 2. Oh, this is that funny thing when it gets within 2 days before its sell date. Okay, right. So I'm sorry. You were okay. So let's try to get this one working first. Right. It says 50. So then, yeah. So if we say if item.quality equals 50, actually not equals 50, so less than 50. We'll increment it then. Let's fix one of them. Oh. Isn't it like? Oh, the sell-in didn't decrease. What did I get wrong? Did decrease it? What do I did wrong there? Yeah, right. No, that absolutely. Right. So let's see here. Sell-in is at 2. That should go down to 1. Sorry? Yeah, you're right. Oh, I know why. I forgot to return here. So it's going in, right, it's going down below. So yeah, okay, this is good. This is good. Or if I was breaking the other one too. Subtle bugs like this, but again, you find it because you have tests. Yay, now everything works. Okay, oh, that's kind of a dumb error. Great, okay, yeah, cool. Okay. Let's do backstage pass next. No? Okay, no, that's very smart, right? Let's get practice with the easy ones, then yeah, do the big, okay. Okay, so then let's see here. Okay, backstage pass. What's the logic here? Increases in quality as its sell-in approaches. Quality increases by 2 when they're 10 days or less. Okay, so then, okay, so then it has, let's see here. So the same, okay, interesting. So it has like, it's kind of the same here. It's telling me it's duplicate code. Yeah, I know that. But what else? Let's see here. So we always increase the sell-in. We if the quality is less than, okay, if the quality is less than 50, then we have all the wacky logic. So, okay, quality increases when there are 10 days or less. So about like 2 when there are 10 days or less, 3 when there are 5 days or less. Okay, so let's do the 5 days or less first. So the quality is less than 50, and if item.sellin is less than 3, 3 days or less, isn't it? Well, it increases by 3 when there are 5 days or less. 5 days or less. So when it's less than or equal to 5, it increases by 3. Item.quality plus equals 3. Else if item.sellin, nope, item.sellin, what was that again? Okay, let me just split this in. Sorry, what? Less than 10? Thank you. Oops. Let's split it right. Yeah, help. No, it won't. The sell-in is less than or equal to 10, then it goes up by 2, plus equals 2, right? Okay. Oh, and then, but after the concert, it drops to 0. Okay, good to know. So then, oops, I don't want this quality plus plus anymore. And then if item dot sell-in is less than or equal to 0, then the quality is 0. Oh. It's always false. Ah, yeah, okay, this one kind of needs to be first. Okay. Oh. Yep, okay. Oh, where? Oh, yeah. That's right, I deleted that line. Thank you. Otherwise, yeah, it's more than 10 days away than item.quality plus plus. Yay, pair programming. Thank you, right? These are the things that, I mean, like, we miss. We don't have that immediate feedback. Okay, great. That's awesome. Awesome. Nope, so doesn't like it. What did I do wrong? I'm returning. Okay, so let's see here. What is it? Backstage pass is quality of 0 the day after sell-in. And it was 57. Huh. Interesting. So, doesn't it work? So let's see here.
So the day after would be less than
True, I've already, yeah. Although I don't know if that would make a difference in this case. Sorry, someone else had something to say? Maybe? No? Okay. Well, it should, right. So it starts at 57 on the last day, and quality should equal to, okay, well, here's, we're going to debug it. Interesting, okay.
Wait, no, it's because you said quality is, I mean, quality is less than 50.
You're right. So is the testing valid? Because, I mean, can Bree start out with a quality of greater than 50? Okay, but you're right. But okay, so like, what's the right thing to do here? I guess the right thing to do would be like, I guess change the test. But sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. With the no.
Maybe you do that in fact, if I'm not quality is greater than 50, so I'm quality.
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably like. So I think the test is wrong, and what I would do, well, we can't change the constructor for item, but boy, that'd be a better check to make there. Yeah. Yeah, I think it should be less than or equal to 50 because it can start out at 50 is a valid value. But yeah, let's just change the test to 50. And oops. Oh, wait, this is backstage pass? That's what we're working on. Yeah, sorry. It is, isn't it? I'm losing it. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. So start this out with 50 and see if that makes a difference. Now the other one, well, let's see if that makes a difference. Yep. Okay, so then this one. Okay, so this one's not right. Okay, so then this was backstage pass increments quality by 2, 10 days before sell-in. So this didn't work. It was 31. Off by 1 error. Wouldn't you know it? So starts at 20. Oh. Starts at 20. And then it goes for 5. Oh, interesting. It took 30, but it was 31. So where did it get the extra 1? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go look at the old logic to see how it did it. Backstage pass. If sell-in is greater than 11, oh sorry, less than 11. It's the same thing as less than or equal to 10. And the quality is less than 50, then increment by 1. Oh my goodness. And then it's like, oh, they're doing ifs here. Or they're doing else's here. That's super confusing. Okay. Okay, you're right. It always increments it by 1. Ugh, it's code. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. What is the where's the let's see, it's at 20. It doesn't get anywhere close to being to 0. Or rather the sell-in doesn't get close to being to 0. It only get down to 5, and it does that successfully. Just this is off by 1. Okay. I'm gonna debug it. Okay, so here we are. Item.selling is 10. Item.quality is 20. So let's see here. This should increase the quality by, yeah, but maybe it doesn't. Nope, nope. Well, it's even telling me that yes, it'll be by 2. Okay. Nice. And then now let's continue on there. Okay, so now we're at 9 and 22. So it should go 2 again. That's going to. Yep. Okay. And it should go 8 and 24. So 8 is now 2. Oh, wait a second. Does it get down to 5? That's the test. Yeah. So, okay. Is the code wrong? Is the test wrong? Let's, because it gets down to 5. And, sorry? Right, it adds 3 on day 5 because it gets down to 5. So what's the right thing to do? So I guess, should we increment sell in after we've updated the quality? Let's give it a try, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so like right here, no. Nope, right here. Selling, I might need to change this to equals 0. Yeah. Maybe. Well, let's see. Let's not forget what the other things. Refactoring isn't easy, but when you have tests, it's a lot of, oh, okay, everything worked. Look at that, we're geniuses. Okay, cool. You know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't run this thing. And this is completely different data, so we'll see. I don't know. That's why this broke. Oh, it did! Crap. Okay. Oh dear, now what do we do? I forgot to run the other set of tests while we're making changes. Okay. Okay. No, this is no reason to panic. So let's see here. Let's figure out which. Sorry, what? Okay. So now it's time to divide and conquer. Let's see where we broke it. So let's. Okay. So we're gonna take out the entire switch statement. Good thing I have. This is why I'm glad I left that old code down there, because at least I've got something that worked, right? So now if I run it, it should be okay. Okay, aha, good to know. Okay, so now let's just, okay, now let's see here. Let's just start with the default case. Because you know what this indicates, to me anyway, is that there's a missing unit test, right? There is some situation out there that the integration test catches that the unit test doesn't. This is good, right? Because it goes for 30 days, so maybe there's obviously a piece of logic there that it doesn't get yet. Yeah. But isn't it great to have tests? Okay. Oh, look at that. Well, that is surprising. So it's the default case. It doesn't work. Okay. Oh man, look at this mess. How do I work with this?
Is the problem that they're really recommending solid things?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Hey, that's smart. Yeah, why not? So okay, I'm gonna do that, and now I'm gonna see if my unit test pass. Because I might need like greater than equals to now. Yeah. So maybe that's okay, right? We've got undo, we've got GitHub, right? Here again, it's okay. Oh crap. Nope, it definitely did not like that. Okay, so then wasn't just like an easy vulnerability thing. Okay, so then this passes there, right? No, something's really broken there. Oh, because I have default. Okay, that's why. Okay. So so this is kind of hokey. I didn't do this the right way. I need to put breaks here. Okay. Yeah. And the reason I knew this is because I saw the tests that were failing. It's like backstage passes and stuff are broken. It's like, what? I'm not doing that. Am I? Oh yeah, I am. Because yeah. Okay. So then those all hard breaks. So this should be okay. Okay. Now let's run this. Okay, this is terrible. Did I not use assert that? Well, I did use assert that. Well, sometimes it gives me a diff. Oh, man. This is, oh, okay. Now what are we going to do? How are we going to find? What's funny, they also have differences in, do they have differences in line endings? Maybe not. Probably not. No, they don't. Okay. What are we going to do here?
There's a lot
How?
for,
Yeah.
like, you know, are we using less than or equals to when somebody else is using less than? Or the selling dates?
Yeah, that could definitely. That means I have to read that really awful code. Which I'm afraid of, honestly, right? That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm like, I really don't want to mess with that code. I was feeling so good about re-implementing it, but now we've discovered some scenario which doesn't work. But maybe we can. Okay, maybe we can.
Oh, hold on.
Mhm.
Quality of the item is never made.
Okay.
Are we in our default? Are we allowing item values to get negative?
Possibly. Let's see here. Well, let me search the output for space dash to see what negative things are. So there is, that's a comma space dash. Those are all negative ones for sell buys. They're selling. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So then, excellent. Great call on that one. So now we need to write a unit test, which says, so nice. Okay, so this is a regular item. We'll say a regular item can not have, or has, cannot have negative, I guess, negative quality. Yay. Okay, and so then, actually, let's just do item, and we'll have it just start with 0, I guess, and then after 1 day, it should be -1 sell by, but then 0 this. 0 quality, okay. So this should fail. Okay, but was -2. That's good. Sorry, wait. So okay, quality of an item is never negative. Okay, nice. Okay. Okay. So then let's just go back for Okay, no. Here's what I want to do first. Before I change this code, I want to see. Oops, I want to see if the original code passes. Very nice. Okay, cool. So now this would fail again. Once more. Right. And okay. So then, so what do we want to do? We just want to, should we say, if item.quality less than 0, item.quality equals 0? Yeah. Okay. And now, how does this do? Okay. Okay. That's okay though. We found one bug, and now he's got to find another one. So let's see here. I want to look at this test, and I want to look at the fixture test. Okay, so like no, +5 dexterity vest. This is that's a regular item, right? Okay, so now I feel like I want to write a unit test for this. This to me seems like there's something it's something about this one that's broken. It has, yeah, that's interesting. So it's like, well, maybe it's not though, because like it's got 10. So this thing goes 30 days. Yeah, I think we really need to be able to figure out, like, we just need to get a better idea of how to compare these things better. And I'm really surprised. There's sometimes I can show differences, but I guess maybe it's too big. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is there a way to update the number of days of run for quickly? Like if you run it for 15 days, it's still broken. And that would at least tell us what the day.
Yeah, no, we probably like a divide and conquer, but no, that's exactly right. That's exactly the right way to do it. So good, cool. I like that. Okay, it won't be super easy, but it will. But we'll get it done. So yeah, we'll just do this. We'll just start with 1, and over here I'll open up the what's it about text file? Oh yeah, 30 days standard output. Okay, yeah, I really like the way you're thinking. Okay, day 0, and was delete on her. And then we'll run this over here. Probably to do some new line or something like that. Oh yeah, click here to see differences. Now we can see it. Okay, so 0 and 1. Okay, so sorry. So do day 1. Oops. Revert. Okay, is that one? Yeah, see when it was too big to click to see difference. It was a bummer. Yeah, it's probably like a new line problem or something. Oh no, it's not. Oh, look at that. Fascinating. Okay, well now we can debug this. Okay, this is looking good. But it's not. Okay, wait. Elixir. What's elixir of mongoose? That would be a regular item. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Right. I know. Right. So aged brie starts out as 2-0 and goes down to 1-1. Don't we have a test for that? I thought we had a test for that. Yeah. So what's okay? So I don't know. We can keep debugging this. Well, we'll do it for a little while longer, but there was something else that I didn't want to show off, but we don't have things working. So yeah, so let's look at the aged brie. 2-0-1-1. Sorry? Yeah, I'm just wondering why the aged brie, we expected to go from 2-0 to 1-1, but instead it went from 2-0 to 2-0. Wait, I did get, wait a second. I think the expected actual. Yeah, the actual is what's written standard out, and then the expected what was okay. So I got that right. Huh. Ooh, it skips day 1. Oh, you're right. It doesn't change between day 0 and day 1. Ooh, okay. Very nice. Okay, and how does this compare to? Sorry, say again? Mm-hmm. So, right, so we had moved the cell in first, right, but we found like down here it needs to be at the bottom. Okay, so then, and yeah, and down here, when do we decrease cell in? We decrease cell in here if it's not sulfurous. Oh, and then we have like another, yikes, okay. So here's if it's less than 0. Here's where we handle it. Oh, interesting. So like some of them, we update the quality before we decrease the cell in, and other times, oh, and then there's other ones that we do afterwards. Oh, and then if the cell in is negative. Oh, this is where the cell in is negative. Okay, so we check to see if cell in is negative after we decrement it for age degree and backstage pass. But you know what? We're not even changing the logic here. So yeah, I mean, you're really onto something. I think that's the difference that makes a difference, is that nothing seems to happen. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'm not understanding like what is printing this out. So let's look at the text. The picture here. So here's that. Day 0 is so we print out the item and then we update the quality. So days is one. Sorry. Yep. Okay, so right. So when we tried this before and it broke a bunch of the unit tests. So yeah, let's do that and let's see if it makes the integration test work. Nope, still didn't like it. Let's see what it did this time. Again, no difference. Okay, this is wacky because like why would the backstage passes be different? Okay, so I'm just gonna take. Am I doing something wrong with the loop? This is returning, and again, dexterity vest should be a regular item. So then why? The sum is greater than 0, which it would be. Then we decrease the quality. But like that totally isn't happening. Huh. Huh. Sorry, now I'm being communicated. Well, what do we do? I still don't understand why the unit tests work, but this one doesn't. What is? Right? Isn't that fascinating? Where it's like we have to change the unit tests, but something about this implementation. I mean, am I missing something? I mean, the return does the right thing. Okay, let's step through the code maybe. Yeah. Go to each of the items, and well, let's just see what we got here. So debug. Okay, so this is it's the dexterity vest, and this is day I equals 0. Okay, so this is the first. Okay, this is the end of the first day. So it's already printed out day 0 to standard output. Oh, wait a second. What was that? Okay, so where are you expected? Okay, so sell in is 10. Yep. Okay, so we're going to decrease the quality. Oh, look at that. Okay, if it's less than 0, okay, it's not going to do anything like that. Okay, we're going to do sell in minus minus. Okay, so it should be, so now it's item.selling equals 9, item.quality equals 19. Which is what we would expect for day 1, okay? Oh, sorry, that was, okay, so now it's, so item is 919. So is it just not printing it out correctly? What does the item.toString look like? It's the same thumbnail. Yeah, sorry, let's go to item. Start name is that selling is quality. So then that seems pretty straightforward. So we should hit this next. Yeah, 19.9. Dexterity, 19.9. Okay. Oh, what? Ah, you know what we didn't do? We're not using the constants in text generator. Think it's gonna make a difference? Shouldn't. You know, they are the same strings. No, I mean, okay, so what do we just see here? Like in the Guilded Rose, we're not using the constants, but like, it's almost as if things aren't getting updated. Yeah, I'm just getting confused, right? It's been a long day. And age degree is not 0. Oh, age degree is 2. So like this one didn't change, right? We are here on day 1. The age degree didn't change. Why didn't age degree change? Yeah. Yep. Okay, all these are sort of kind of good. Okay, so there's something like really strange going on here. So like, what am I doing differently here in this one? Is it like somehow the object not updating? Should be the same item object, not creating anything. Oh. Okay, so let's see here. Somehow, okay, so like I'm thinking it's like, well, is it a problem with this code? It's gotta be a problem with this code, because again, when I comment all this out, it ought to work fine. Oh, it doesn't? Does the break not do what I think it does? I mean, it should just break out of this and continue on. Okay, awesome. This is really interesting. But do my unit tests still work? Yep. We've all been there. I'm there right now. You're watching me be there. It's uncomfortable for everybody. Right? Isn't this weird? Okay, so now is this a new line? Oh, this is a new line at the end. Okay, so this is okay. Okay, so something clearly there is something wrong here in the logic. I mean, return returns from the whole method, right? It doesn't. Okay, so there's the 20. There's the 3. This is all day 1 stuff. That's cool. Okay, here we are. We're updating the quality, and I move the security vest. So we go through and do this. And then again, it has 9 and 19, just like we expect. Oh, yeah. In Guilded Rose. Okay, so here we are on day 1. If we look at our items, the dexterity vest is 919, right? Just like we think it should be. And then $9.19, just like we think it should be. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so like why? Okay, here it is decrementing on the last day, but then it never prints this one out. So this is when it goes down to 9 and 18? No, here we go, 8 and 18. That makes sense. This never gets printed out because the loop is over. Okay, and yet you see it fail. Okay, so now I'm super confused. Okay, so one more thing. Okay, I'm going to replace these printouts with, okay, so I'm going to say, system data, I'm going to create a variable here, all 5 occurrences, and that, okay, so then, oh, I didn't want a variable, all 5 occurrences. Oh, put the way the hell up there, that's obnoxious. Okay, sure, okay. Please don't put it all the way up there. No, oh, because it prints out this thing. Okay. Sure, whatever. Okay. And then okay, instead of a print stream, I'm going to have a print writer, and this print writer is going to be a new print. So what I want to do is I want to debug this. I want to see what's being written out. There's just something that I'm missing here. So I'm going to put it in a string writer because that way I'll have something in memory that I can debug. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to say auto flush here, and at the very end is when I will print things out to standard error. And then std.to string. Okay. And so now I'm going to, I want to see this work. I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to run it again. Like, with the new line difference again. Yeah, it's a new line. Okay, now I have. Oh, I have extra. Wait a second. Why do I have that? Well, anyway. Okay, so now I can debug it again. And, I am convinced this is just got to be something silly on my part where I'm able to test and not understanding or whatever. Okay, so there is print out the first time. It's got the 10 and 20. Okay, so here we go. It's got 10 and 20. Oh, interesting. Oh. I think I figured it out. Wait a second. So, oh, damn. Okay. Switch statements, for loops. I don't want to return from the method here because I'm inside a for loop. I didn't update the rest of them. It looks at the first one and then doesn't update the rest of them. And that's why they weren't being updated. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, so guess what? We're going to turn this into this statement. Okay, or wait, if I just turn this to a continue, does that work? Maybe? Shoot. Right, and the reason our unit test didn't see this is because they only dealt with one item per Gilded Rose. Okay, anyway. Well, actually, wait a second. No, prove me wrong. Darn. Well, I don't know. Yeah. It was just a line. It was just a new line difference. And then I need to fix the test. I need to, oh no, wait, I need to fix the integration test. And we can revert that to about 30. Yes, still doesn't like it. Now it's too good. This might have been the problem that we had. No, we didn't have the problem before. Huh. Okay, well now there might actually be like another. Oh, but wait, we also changed. We also moved the cell in down here. Because right now I think as it stands, the unit test pass. Unit test pass. Does this pass now? Nope, still doesn't. Okay, well something's still broken. Damn it. Okay, so then I don't know. It was just day one. We wanted day 0, day 1. Okay, well, so now, oh, it's just gross, right? Like how many new lines should we have? Maybe just like this. So this one ought to work though. Oh wait. Oh, we got yeah. Thank you. Yes. One day. Expected. Blah blah blah. One more line. Does that make it work? Okay. Okay. So day 1's fine. Day 2. Oh, I thought I could select that. Oh, man, that'd be tedious. Well, okay, so now is it better to? Oh, do a binary search? We can do that. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Or oh boy, but I kind of want a better test than this, though, right? I mean, I want. Okay, let's just think here. Yeah.
And just essentially change the one, like, we next to it for 1, 5.
All right, yeah, maybe do it that way.
And then
Yeah.
numbers.
Anything here? Well, okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, boy, my instincts are telling me to write unit tests for this to figure it out. But I kind of like the expediency of just trying it, yeah, for days. Okay, so then yeah, let's revert this. Now let's go with day 2 and make sure to have a new line at the end. And then change this to see what happens. This is broken. Okay. But no. If it's more than a new line, just a new line again. Okay. Okay, so 3. So yeah, let's skip ahead then. Yeah, like day 15. Yeah, binary shape. So then it's too big now, so I don't know. It's got 3 new lines at the bottom and has 4 new lines at the bottom. They go the wrong way. Yeah, see, right? This is not like 15 is too big. Okay, so then let's go for 10. Yeah, this probably is the fastest way to like figure out where things break, and then we can try to go from there with unit tests. Okay, broken but small enough to have differences. Okay, here we go. Looks like day 3. Okay, we're so close. So something about conjured. Oh, there's conjured stuff in here. Oh, but look, it looks like mongoose also gets something wrong. And this is a regular item, right? So, okay, I didn't realize this had, well, how come the conjured? Because, let's see here. There was no conjured logic in the old code. Okay, so what is then unique about this? So, this goes from, so what was it the day before? It goes from 1 to 4, down to 0 to 3, but it should go to 0 to 2. Why does it take 2 off? Oh, okay, yeah, right. And same thing with this, where okay, this is 1 and 3, and it should go down to, I just want to make sure I got that right. Okay, so here on day 3, the conjured monarch cake should go from 1, 4 to 0, 3. And I had it going from 1, 4 to 0, 2. Okay, so why does
sell in the 0 in that point, it says that all these places fast.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't sell it.
Yeah, I want to write a unit test for this first though. Because clearly I've got good. Okay. And you're doing well at it. You're all doing good. So okay. So then let's write. Okay. So so what have I gotten wrong here? Sorry, this is between. So conjured monarch cake. We'll say regular item. Oops. Public void regular item quality decreases by 1 on day 1. And so then item, and the thing that's breaking goes from 1 and 4, 1 and 4, and it should go to 0, 3. Ooh, fast. Okay, but was 3 a 2? No, it's expected it was actually 2, which is exactly what it was failing at before. Okay, nice. And you said that was because, okay, so here we decrement selling, we're gonna do that. Okay, so is that gonna make that one? Yeah, but how about the rest of them? That passes. Okay, so now how about text fixture? Wow, these are so subtle, right? Oh, it fails. Okay, now how does it fail? Okay, just okay. White space. Okay, so like let's go back to 30 days and see what happens. This one I don't need to change. This one I need to change that to 30. This one I'm going to change that to 30. Thing. Nope. Okay. Now I'm just going to look at revert. Just that. Okay. Once again. Okay, something else I'm broken. Well, anyway, it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm I don't know about you, but I'm tired. So I don't know if I'm gonna like try to make this work anymore or not, because there's other things that I'll be doing for you on my between now and next class. But I hope you got so we ended up in a big lesson in debugging. But I guess this is some of the risks in refactoring, right? What did we do? We had this really crazy complex logic, and we're like, okay, I think I understand what that logic's doing, and I'm going to try to replicate it. And so then, we did, and our unit test passed, but it turns out the big integration test didn't. And I'm convinced there's a bug in there someplace. And probably what I would do is I'd start writing more unit tests that basically replicate what the command line does. That's my go-to. I don't want to work in small steps. And right now, it's just too big. I can't deal with this output. I don't know how to then act on this easily. So I think I would take a step back and I'd write a unit test basically for each day. And so I could see where it would break, and as I change more things, then I would have even more tests, right? Again, you're sort of surrounding the problem so that nothing escapes as you're changing it. What did you think about tonight? Did this work? You seem to like it, which is good. But other people, did it make sense? Was this like a good way to spend the class? Okay, you're seeing opportunities for refactoring your own code. Well, like tests. And okay, good. Others, people, did anybody still awake on the call?
Aside from how much fun it was, I think sort of into edge cases.
Ooh, yes, right. I'm saying edge cases. Yeah.
That bug was 0 to 1 because it was treating a 0 as a
yeah.
So I knew that that's not just for regular edges.
Yeah. Excellent. Whew. Okay, I got to get all this code checked. I made way too many changes. Yeah, youch. Okay, excellent. Sorry, what? Oh, switch statement? Excellent question. So sorry, there's one more thing. Yeah, well, I don't remember. I didn't do it well before. I like what we were going here, because then what I was hoping for is then we could then turn each one of these switch statements, basically replace this with objects, right? Because what is this switch statement? Well, basically it's a virtual method, right? So we, let's say you create an age 3 class that had an update quality method. And I think I heard you guys talking about that, right? Yep. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going, but I kind of like exploring it as a case statement first. It did seem like a good increment. That way, I think we would have a very good idea of like what the individual methods all are. But we're not there yet because clearly this stuff doesn't work all the way. But I've got a lot of commented out there. So, fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. Yes. Mhm. Oh. Well, sorry. The conjured elements, right? The conjured elements aren't implemented yet. Oh, but you're right. The standard output. Yeah. Yes, I mean like right now. Here, let me just look one more time here. So yeah, if we run, like when we run the this fixture test where we run the main method. Before adding the what? Sorry. Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. As a matter of fact, I mean, if we go look on GitHub, we'll see that when these do pass when they but probably because I broke the bottom. Nice. Okay, no. So it does. It did run. So yes, and this does run the integration test. So the last time I pushed, which actually was a while ago, that test did run. So I'm glad I didn't push. So I would have broken this. So yeah. We ran at one point, but you're right. We started extracting the switch statement. We got all the unit tests passing. I was so proud of myself. I'm like, I didn't run the integration tests, and it turns out I'd broken something, earlier on. But yeah, this is why it's so great to have all these signals. So at least we find out quickly. I've seen that way somewhere in the audience. But we get that feedback so much faster. And so then there were some refactorings that we were able to make very safely and very quickly in our unit test process. And now once we started doing a little bit more advanced stuff, trying to really change the logic, we broke things, but we knew about it. Way better than to than to find out too late. Okay. So let's see here. That's enough for tonight. Next week. Oh, cool. Next week is going to be awesome. So next week we are going to set up our development environments for Android, and then we're going to do our first mob programming exercise. And well, I was thinking everybody should be here in person, but I realized that we might not be able to have two mobs because I only have one projector, and so I don't know how it's going to work. So I need to think about that. So maybe we'll do actually we'll probably end up doing then a split of, I guess we'll figure it out. Maybe some people maybe we can weigh in beforehand and maybe do a poll or something like that, because if people really want to be remote, great. So basically have half the class here doing in-person mobbing next week, the other half of the class being remote, and then switch or figure out week 3 or something like that. Anyway, I'll figure all that out and let you know sort of by Monday. Awesome. Okay. Hey, thank you very much for this is the first time I've ever done this, and first time introducing refactoring into the course. I hope that it's giving you some new tools to work with and some more ideas for how to write good code. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Thanks for sticking with us, folks.